Welcome to the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, the show where real estate investors talk strategy, capital, deals, and growth with your host, Dave Dubeau.
Hey folks, welcome back. Today's zooming in, a southern neighbor from Seattle, Washington. We've got Mark Fiebig from Payscore. So what is Payscore? This is all about income verification. What do we care about income verification for? Well, when you're renting properties that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, it's kind of good to know who you're renting to and how well they can pay that rent. So Mark, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Dave, great to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I gave a very bumbling introduction to you and Payscore. Maybe you can kind of fill in the blanks a little bit better and tell us what is Payscore? What do you do?
Sure. Yeah, more than happy to. As you alluded to, Dave, one bad approval can mean months of lost rent and even bigger problems still. So really the key is that the right data prevents that opportunity from arising. And Payscore is set out to provide the clearest picture of every applicant so your team can make confident decisions about approvals. And the way that we do that is by automating ID and income verification. As a landlord myself, I want to know you are who you say you are and that you can pay the rent. Two pretty critical pieces of information if I'm going to sign a 12-month lease with you, right?
Yeah.
So we lean into primary source data. We can verify government issued ID types across a variety of 10,000 different types and over 200 territories and countries. So we've got pretty good coverage in that regard. And then on the income verification side, we've got a couple of channels. You can verify your income through bank linking and reporting deposit history. Okay. And we're in network with about 99% of all financial institutions in North America. Again, pretty good coverage. Then there's the payroll channel. You can connect your payroll provider also to verify your income. And we've got about 85% of the U.S. workforce covered on the payroll channel. Mm-hmm. Now, in those rare instances where somebody works for a company that doesn't have an electronic payroll provider, or maybe they don't bank online, they don't have an online presence from a banking standpoint, we can still validate and verify shared documents. But I'll tell you what, that comes up in less than 1% of cases for us because of the deep coverage we have on these other two channels.
Okay, so let's back up for a second here, Mark. So who is your primary customer for Payscore in the real estate realm? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, really, it's anyone who wants to answer those two questions. Who are you? How much do you make? That's rental housing providers of all sizes and stripes. We've got.
So yeah, like what would be on the small side? I can see this being for the big property management companies.
Yeah, I mean, we've got huge property management companies, hundreds of thousands of units under management or more use our services. And then, for the mom and pop folks, they need to maybe screen their prospects that move out once every 3 years or so. Not a problem. We kind of have a self-service portal. Add your credit card so you can be billed for the service. And if and as you need to send out an invite to one of your prospective future residents, you can do so.
Okay, so that's the next question. So we know who uses this, anywhere from mom and pop real estate investors all the way up to the really big guys.
Yep.
Now how do they use it? So let's focus more on the mom and pop, because that's probably who more of our audience is. How would a mom and pop landlord use your service?
You bet. Yeah, more than happy to kind of walk you through that. So you've got a prospect. Let's say, Dave, you're applying to one of my rental properties. You find the vacant unit online somewhere, and you click on the link to apply. I'll get an application, say, oh, this fella Dave wants to apply to this property. I hit you back with an invite. That invite comes to you via text message and email. And so you can choose the modality to respond from. About 85% of our respondents are using their mobile phone.
Yeah.
And when you get in there to verify your ID, you're taking a photo front and back of the government issued ID type.
Indicated driver's license, probably.
Driver's license is the most common for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's also a liveness check. You're doing taking selfies, left, right, and center. So we can make sure you're actually alive. You're not just uploading taken or saved photos, of somebody else potentially.
My dead cousin Dave, something like that. Yeah, we don't want to.
Right, exactly. Yeah, boy, you'd be surprised what sorts of things come across the wires. So that takes care of the ID verification. That's instant. You send in your information, the results come right back to the landlord, and they know right away if you are who you say you are. On the income verification piece, same text message invite. Now you have the opportunity to connect to your bank and share deposit history, or go through the payroll channel and share your information through the payroll provider. And that's about a 75-25% split. About 75% of the time, folks are choosing that bank linking capability. And
Okay.
that's the primary source data. As a landlord, that's what I want to see. That's the best info coming back, because it's the monies that landed in your bank account. And if the prospect is undertaking that on their mobile phone, they're done with the process in a couple of minutes. It really is a quick click-through exercise. As the applicant, Dave, you'd be provided the opportunity to review the information. You're asked to confirm it's accurate and complete. Then you click share, it gets sent to the landlord. So I can have you ID and income verified inside of 10 minutes, and it's based on source data. There's no guesswork on my part. You have no uncertainty on your part whether you're getting credit for your full earnings capability. Because even if you've got, let's say, steady paycheck every 2 weeks, maybe you're working a side hustle, right? Driving for one of these delivery services or something like that, maybe picking up some Uber shifts or whatever the case may be. That's real money. You can use that income to pay rent. You ought to be
So
getting
you could do
paid for it.
both, right?
Yeah.
You could
Oh,
show
yeah.
both. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
cover it all. Like whatever the income source or type is, we can include that to the benefit of the applicant, but also to the benefit of the landlord. I, as a landlord, want to make sure I've got a quality resident coming in. And if I know they've got good, steady earnings and, they're working their butt off, maybe second, third job to make the ends meet, that's a positive signal to me, especially if I can see that over a period of time. Maybe it's 12 months. I've got 12 months
Yeah.
of data, steady as she goes. I'm feeling good about moving you in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So we're doing this interview in the middle of 2026. How long has Payscore been going along for?
We're sneaking up on our 9th birthday here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And was this spawned by personal necessity, or what got you going with the company, Mark?
Sure, fair question. I'm hardwired as an entrepreneur. I haven't bumped into a vaccine yet. This is my 5th company now, and along the way, my wife and I started acquiring investment properties, and she and I flipped a coin to figure out who in our family was going to manage them. And well, I lost that coin flip, started managing those properties, and accidentally grew a small property management business. And so now I'm really living the pain,
Yeah.
daily living the pain of the property manager. And the thing that kept
You're
rising to the
making it sound
surface.
so appealing.
Yeah, step right up. So in living the pain, the thing that kept rising to the surface is, man, I never know how much money somebody makes.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real, I don't actually know. I get guesstimates, right? I collect a pay stub from you finally after trying and trying and trying. It could drag on for a couple of weeks before I finally get a pay stub.
Right.
And then when I finally get it, especially now in the data, or the day of AI generated imagery,
Oh,
man, it's so easy to fake a pay stub and make your head spin if I showed you how.
wow.
It is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
simple. And it's pretty gratifying for us. Our team is a little more tuned to this. I got some gray hair, but we've got kids in the team here who are scouring Reddit, scouring TikTok and whatnot, and they're finding the posts, these video clips of people offering services. We'll sell you an application approval package for $500. You're guaranteed to get approved. However, if your landlord is using Payscore, we can't help you.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's pretty
9 years
cool.
ago is when you got this started.
Yep.
Out of your own experience, do you have a background in computer programming and stuff like that? Is that your
Well,
previous, one of your
yeah,
previous?
my wife would tell you I'm the pretty face. Some people will disagree with that. My
I
co-founder business
wouldn't.
partners, it's very kind. My co-founder business partner is the smart guy. He wrote the platform from the start. I
Okay.
was the feeder fish, right? Hey, we need the thing to do this. Hey, it's got to do that. And so
Yeah.
we put our heads together, got this thing going, working inside of my small property management biz. And then I started calling PMs not named Mark, and turns out they all had the same problem. And so we said, hey, we got something here. Let's go to market. So here we are.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So as at this point, how many users do you have on the platform?
Sure. Yeah. We're sneaking up on 500,000 units all over the country. So
Wow.
yeah,
Nice.
pretty good coverage.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. So you've got your own personal experience. What's one of your favorite Payscore stories?
Oh man. Yeah. One of my faves. Well, there's a couple, but I mean,
Yeah.
my wife will tell you I can talk about these as long as you've got time in the day. but a couple that come top to mind. We've got a customer based in Las Vegas, notoriously difficult market to verify income
Yeah, I
for
would guess.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a decent size operator, about 15,000 units.
No, that's great.
But doesn't matter what size operator you are. This is just a good case study. They called us after, I guess it was 8 or 9 months of deployment. They said, "Hey, we came to Payscore with $1 million in bad debt in the books, $1 million in bad debt in the books, and we just did month end. That's down to 30K.
Wow.
So we're calling to say thanks. We're calling to say thank you very much." So that in a nutshell tells you how the market finds
Well,
value from Payscore services is we're
well,
eliminating the opportunity for
connect the
that bad
dots
debt.
for me there. How do they go from $1 million in uncollected debt to 30 grand in a year? How did PayScore do that for them?
Sure. Yeah. Well, the consensus is that your annual turnover is 47 or 49%. Depends which banker you ask, but somewhere in there, right? So
Hmm.
over the course of 8 or 9 months, you've turned over a good majority of your units. And so we're preventing bad actors from moving in. So the
Right.
debt has no opportunity to materialize.
Got it. So they
That's
didn't
how we make that
necessarily
happen.
collect the million that was outstanding
Nope.
before. They're not getting bad tenants in anymore to
Right.
make
They
them
just
more
didn't
debt.
add, and they aren't recycling that to add a
Got it.
new,
Yeah, yeah.
million, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
just holding steady at a million. Some of those actors were trading out, and it's just like
Mhm.
parked at $1 million. Let's get the bad actors out, squeeze that down to 30K.
Yeah.
Everybody's loving it.
No, and what about anecdotally? Any fun stories from some of the smaller operators about
Yeah,
how, yeah.
sure. Yeah, I mean, we had one of the on-site reps who's doing the screening work. She called our success team, and she was kind of doing, one of these hand over the phone things. She didn't want her voice to carry over the cubicle wall. She was
Mhm.
being recruited away by another property management company. She said, "I told them I would take the job, but only if they deploy Payscore because I can't live without you guys. I can't do it without you." I'll give you another quick one too, Dave. We had somebody call us and say, "We had 5 different people trying to use the same pay stub to get approved for our
Wow.
unit. And you guys stopped them again."
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. It
So
feels good.
just, do you have any idea how prevalent fraud is in rentals
Man,
these
well,
days? Any stats?
there, yeah, I mean the big trade association here in the States, the National Multifamily Housing Council, did a survey now a couple of years ago, and it was north of 90% of respondents said they're facing fraud daily.
Daily.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's hard to escape, but we're doing our darndest to help people get out of that loop.
Yeah. Okay. No, that is so cool. So, Mark, who are you looking to connect with these days?
Sure, for us, kind of pointing back to the top of the hour, we started the biz to make lives easier for people. And so if there's a property manager who is either facing these fraud challenges or is fearful about maybe they're facing them and they don't know it, man, we can help. We can help. So rental housing operators, frankly, of any size, who are trying to make sure they've got quality residents in their communities or in their units, we can help you out. Make it and it's not just easier for the operator, by the way, it's easier for the applicant too. We
Because
get
you're
that kind
kind
of feedback all the time.
of,
Applicants are, shouting from the rooftops how fast they got approved, how much easier it was in trying to find pay stubs.
oh
Man, I
yeah.
could finally report all of my income. This is amazing. It's
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
got an
helps a
unintended
good eggs.
consequence. Yeah, we didn't see that one coming, but it's great. It's great when you can service both sides of the business transaction, right?
So we were talking a little bit offline, Mark, that most of our listeners and viewers in the States, but we do have quite a few Canadians as well. Does PayScore work in Canada too?
Yes, it does. Again, back to that bank connectivity stat, 99% of all financial institutions in North America, not just in the States. So yeah, we got you covered.
Fantastic. All
Yeah.
right. So if people want to find out more, where should they go?
Your best bet's probably go www.payscore.com, and you can click there to sign up for a demo, 15-minute demo. It'll change your life.
Fantastic. Mark, thanks for being on the show. This has been great.
Real pleasure. Thanks so much, Dave. Great afternoon.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Property Profits Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, apply at daveinterviewyou.com.